One of the best ways of getting into a top college is to be creative. And that is the reason I'm wearing a sunglass in front of a ring light.
I'm sorry, I found it funny.
Dear 9th graders, welcome to yet another video, and of course, the second episode of this series. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about recommendation letters. What is recommendation letter is something that I already showed in the last video. If you guys have not checked it out, please watch episode 1 and come back to this video. Let's talk about recommendation letters. There are 3 main types of recommendation letters. Ekta spin hoye jak. Alright, so about the 3 recommendation letters, the first type of recommendation letter is the counselor recommendation letter. A very common question that I get is, Bhaiya, I don't have a counselor at my school, what can I do? Do not worry. It's because most of the schools, especially the remote schools of Bangladesh or any other South Asian countries, do not have a counselor. In that case, your high school principal or someone like of a high value, for example, the head of the department or like the head teacher or however you call it, the headmaster, can be your counselor and they can write the recommendation letter on your behalf. The second type of recommendation letter, Arta spin hoy jak. Ow. The second type of recommendation letter is the teacher recommendation letter. This is a bit tricky. Teacher recommendation letter can be asked by different universities in different ways, but most of the time you need one maths and one science recommendation letter. If you do not have science, then it's normally maths and English. If you do not have maths, it can be literally any 2 subjects, depending on the type of degree that you want. For example, if you are willing to pursue a degree of business, then economics and business studies can be 2 teachers who you can approach. If you want to study computer science, maths, physics, computer science teacher can be one. If you are studying something else, then something relevant to that, right? So teacher's recommendation letter is also important. Some colleges do not want it, but the top colleges do. And most of the time, the number of teacher recommendation letter varies from 2 to 3. Sometimes they can ask you even 1. Next, the third type of recommendation letter, Arta spin hoy jak. We're different. Ow. The third type of recommendation letter is called the other recommendation letter. So what are the categories that fall under other recommendation letters? There can be different types. For example, an employer can be an other recommendation letter holder. A coach, someone who is actually coaching you for maybe a sports club or maybe a teacher of SAT, IELTS like I am, and something like that, they can be your other recommendation letter as well. A friend can be a recommendation letter holder, and then a family member can be a recommendation letter holder. However, a recommendation letter coming from a friend or a family member is not considered that strong enough compared to the one that is written by your counselor, teacher, coach, or employer. If you don't know what an employer is, if you work under an organization and if the organizational owner, founder, chief executive officer, or even someone who is just senior of your post can write you a recommendation letter, right? And guys, do remember this several times. A recommendation letter should not say this person did this type of score, he got a GPA 5, he got an A star. No, recommendation letter should uphold your personality, your characteristics, and your overall performance as a youth, as an individual, right? That is how the different universities differ you from the other candidates, all right? So if you guys like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe wherever you guys are watching it. And I'm gonna see you in the 3rd episode of Dear 9th Graders. Bye-bye, take care, and this was Deepak Pratyay.